If yes, then Selar's affiliate network is right for you. Imagine this: sharing digital products you love and making money while doing it. Whether it's a course, an ebook, or other awesome digital goodies, we've got you covered. And the best part, you're in control. No complicated rules, just great products and those sweet commissions coming your way. Ready to boost your income this year? Join the Selar Affiliate Network and let's get started. Head on to affiliate.selar.co to learn more.
Hey creator, come here. No, I mean, come closer. Why are you managing chaos? You're hosting your course on Google Drive, using another platform to build your sales page, and a totally different platform to receive payments. And guess what? Sometimes you can't even receive payment from your international customers. Why are you trying to manage chaos? Or don't you like your peace of mind? With Selar, you can manage the whole process of selling your digital products from one place. From hosting your ebooks and courses, receiving payments, managing your customers' data, automated follow-up for abandoned transactions, and even building beautiful sales pages. Don't you like your peace of mind? Life is hard enough. Allow us to take care of a few things, you know. Stop managing chaos and start using Selar today.
Hey Siri. How do I make money as a digital creator? How can I make money from my creativity? What's the best course hosting platform in Africa?
To do that, you'll need to be online.
All right, I'm online. What's next? Everyone has a story to tell. The difference is in how we tell them. As a creator, you tell your stories with the content you create. Our job is to give you a platform to monetize your content. So the next time you think about digital products, think Selar. Get started for free on selar.co today.
Our first panel session for day 2 is one that I'm sure many of us have been looking forward to. It's titled The Role of African Creators in Shaping Global Culture and will be hosted by AB Akins. AB is a renowned media personality, award-winning professional, event compere, entrepreneur, and real estate broker. He has worked with notable media companies and events like Upfront and Personal, Hip TV, and Hedis Mic Check. Speaking on this panel are 4 super amazing creators: JayOnAir, Hauwa Lawal, Wode Maya, and Angel Anosike. Joseph Onaolapo, known as JayOnAir, is a radio and TV broadcaster, content creator, and actor. He began his media career as a radio intern and is now a primetime host at a major Lagos radio station. Jay is renowned for his comedic social media characters and was named a breakthrough star by TikTok in 2022. He has partnered with notable brands like MTN and Prime Video and engages his community, the J Tribe, through initiatives like the Period Care Package Initiative. With a growing global presence, Jay is building a significant brand and community. Hauwa Lawal, known on social media as Hauwa, is a content creator and screenwriter who engages her community with imaginative and wild stories on her social media platforms. Hauwa has worked with several local and international brands like Bolt, DSTV, Malta Guinness, and Bolden. Wode Maya is a critically acclaimed YouTube vlogger and digital storyteller whose vision is to project the true and beautiful African story to positively influence global narratives about Africa through digital media. Since 2017, his unique work has placed the best of Africa from personalities to scenic locations on our screens. And Angel Anosike is an actor, media producer, and host of Unpack with Nay, a show focused on authentic conversations. She's also the founder of Nay Living, a wellness community aimed at helping people live authentically. With a background in microbiology and industrial biotechnology, Angel is dedicated to empowering others through wellness and meaningful dialogue. So let's sit down as we learn how African creators are shaping the global culture and how you as a creator can too.
Hello, everyone, and I'd like to say good afternoon. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to this panel session. I hope you guys have been having a great time since the beginning of the conference. I'm very honored to be hosting this panel session, and I'd like to say good afternoon to everyone that has joined from anywhere you are in the world, Africa, Europe, Australia. I'd like to say welcome and thank you for joining us. We promise that this particular panel session is going to be very insightful and there's going to be a lot to learn. So what I'm going to say is make sure you have no distractions because some of your favorites content creators and influencers will be on this panel session. And I believe everyone who is online right now is looking forward to this. I'm really honored to be hosting this. My name is Avia Kins, and I'd like to say thank you to the organizers, the entire Selar team who has put this together. And we're grateful that a lot of people can learn and distance would not be a barrier to everyone who wants to be a part of this growth and learning process. Our speakers for this particular panel session are JayOnAir, like you all know, the content creator Hauwa Lawal, Wode Maya, and Angel Anosike, like they have been introduced earlier on. And they're all going to be speaking on the topic which will be centered around the role of African creators in shaping the global culture. And I know that a lot of you would have questions to ask as our conversation will go on, but feel free, you can drop your questions in the chat box as the conversation will go on. And we hope that we would have time, but we and be rest assured that we'll take some questions from the chat box. So feel free as the conversation goes on to drop your questions and anything that you would like to know on the chat box. I would like to say hello to all of our panelists. Are they online? Let them say hello. Okay, Hauwa is online right now. Wode Maya is here. Angel is here. I'm just going to give like a few seconds for Jay to join us. Thank you guys for joining. Please do not forget that you can share the YouTube link, put it on your Instagram page, put it on your WhatsApp. Let someone join this particular panel session because there's a lot to learn. If you are a creator, if you are aspiring to be a creator, if you are a growing creator, this is one session that you must not miss. So please make sure you share the link on your platforms, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, whatever social media platforms that you're very familiar with and you have a couple of friends on there. So share the link and let people join in. JayOnAir is here, so I guess that we have a complete house. I'd like to say good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon. Let me start with Hauwa. Good afternoon, Hauwa.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Hauwa. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. And you?
I'm well. I'm great. It's nice to speak to you finally. All I do is watch your videos. I'd like to say good afternoon, Wode Maya.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm very well. I'm very well. I could be better though, but I'm very well. Thank you. How you doing? How is life and everything? How is work?
Yeah, life is fine, but currently staying on a national park, so everything is fine when it comes to the
All
wilderness. I
right.
can actually get myself. I don't know.
Okay. I'd like to say good afternoon to Angel. Also, Angel, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm very well. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. And JayOnAir, Jay himself. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I mean, I'm good. It's good to hear your voice, and thank you for joining us. So we're just going to get straight into it, so we do not stretch the time longer than the allotted duration given to us. Today, we're going to be speaking about the role of African creators in shaping global culture. I'm very glad that everyone on my panel session are creators, and in one way or the other, you're going to agree with me that being a creator also means you are an influencer. If you make if you channel your content to influence, if you channel your brand, your person to influence the people that follow you. So I'm going to start with what is the major pressing concern that we all have, which is the understanding that there's been an explosion of interest in African culture, but most especially our music. All right, our music has now become a global export and is gaining. I would not even use the word gaining. It has gained so much popularity, and we also know that this ripple effect is also enjoyed or benefited by everyone in the digital media space. Creators also, you're not limited by boundaries of continent or country, and whatever you put out there is out to the world. But let me ask, when it comes to defining and owning our culture as Africans, as Nigerians, or whatever country that you're from, what do you think? I'm going to start with Hauwa. The first question will be to Hauwa. Hauwa, you're a storyteller. The dynamics of your content is very relatable and is understandable from storytelling. But what do you think as African creators in terms of owning our culture, selling ourselves, and making sure that the narrative or making sure that we remain custodians of our African culture? What do you think that creators need to do more, and what do you think that creators should kind of like reduce?
Okay, thank you. So I think that our culture is, as a Nigerian, I think that we have such a diverse culture. And I think that it's also something that it's a great export. A few years ago, we were so excited to be collaborating with international artists on our music. And now it has become so normal. And I think that that's where we're going with the creator industry. I think that not that we're going to be so happy to collaborate with people from other cultures, but just knowing that our culture is our gift. So I'm a Nigerian storyteller. I talk about my experiences as a Nigerian. I talk about what I can relate to as a Nigerian woman that lives in Nigeria and is an adult. And I think that all of those experiences are so personal to me and are foreign to other people. And I truly believe that so sorry about that. I truly believe that our superpower is being true to ourselves and knowing exactly what we want to project to the outside world. And it's
Yeah.
why see a lot of people come to Lagos, come and have a Lagos Christmas or a Lagos December.
December, yeah.
Exactly. So you see people coming into Nigeria in droves, trying to understand our culture, trying to, act like Nigerians. We see Nigerians who have been raised abroad trying to speak the language. And so seeing all of that, you can clearly see that our culture is what's the word? It's attractive. It's always been attractive, but because we have stayed true to it and we have owned it, we have people coming from different parts of the world. And that's the thing that I love the most about the creator industry, is the fact that you could be in Lagos doing a video and someone from China is watching your video. And so that's what is very important to me. It's telling African stories, telling true stories, writing true stories, and just exporting that to the world, I guess.
All right. I feel like you do a great job in that, telling stories from experience and telling the average Nigerian or African young woman story and the experiences that you have. A lot of people can relate to it. I'm going to have to politely ask that I've been instructed to ask you guys to please kindly turn on your camera so that our audience can know that you guys are the real ones talking to us. So please, for politely asking that you kindly turn on your cameras. Hi, Angel. It's good to see you. You look fabulous. Thank you for joining. Since you're the first person to turn on your camera, I think the next question is going to go to you. How about that?
Okay, that's fine.
All right. One thing that you can never underestimate is the power of collaborations. And we know that in the creative space, it helps you to reach a larger audience.
Yeah.
But this is a dynamic that I would say creators really, really leverage on. All right. But I want to ask you, what role does collaboration play in expanding our reach on the global stage? And what kind of collaborations do you think should be futuristic?
I think, can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
I think before you decide to collaborate or anything, right, you always have to set your intention for the collaboration. And if you're, take for me for example, in the space, in the wellness space, or media space, I don't want to use the word preach, but one of my go-to mottos in life is authenticity. So being your most authentic self, and it's like literally spreading the gospel. So if I'm collaborating with someone, I want to collaborate with someone who understands my vision, right? And who their audience can in turn benefit from what I'm trying to say. So I think the essence of collaborating is basically spreading the gospel, whatever your gospel is. It's like finding platforms that it's not just like, I think mindless collaborations don't work obviously because you will never get your outcome for it. So if you want to collaborate with someone, it has to be like an intentional collaboration where the gospel is being spread. And at the end of the day, the person who you're collaborating with understands your vision. And the more of these collaborations that we have, the more the gospel is being spread. So whatever gospel it is, whatever industry you're in and you're trying to, I don't know, just toot your horn, I think finding people who align perfectly with your vision would always be important in the growth of the like media sector.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Angel. Because of the fact that you are a presenter, you have an online show on Pack with Nay. You invite people to share their stories. And we know that one thing that is really growing right now is the or evolving is podcasts,
Okay.
especially in Nigeria, in Africa, because of
Yeah.
how viral it can get, because of how relatable the stories are, and because of how inquisitive we as young people in this digital age are. Um, some people think that avenues like podcasts might derail in the nearest future.
Mm.
So my question to you is, what role does an avenue like shows that you do podcasts play in shaping the narrative around Africa, in portraying Africa? What role do you think it plays? And what do you think should be more glorified in terms of, podcasts, in terms of
Okay.
shows and all that?
I would like to first of all state that it's a show. Like it's a like I mean sometimes we say it's a visual podcast, but it's a show. And fundamentally, over the years, yes, now we've coined the word podcast. Podcast has become more like
Acceptable.
exciting. But yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, as a word. But we've always had shows. And at the core of those shows have always been honest and authentic conversations. So whatever platform you like, whatever narrative you decide to push with your own show or your own podcast is entirely up to you, whoever it is creating. But for me as a person, I would like for people to, with my show and with shows that they resonate with, I would like for people to always fundamentally take away the fact that we need authentic and wholesome conversations. There's so much power in sharing. And one of the reasons why Unpack with Nay was birthed was because I really and deeply believed in the power of sharing. So there's so many people that are going to speak during the course of the day or on this panel, and there are people who are watching who are going to take so many things away from it. So the more we keep having conversations, the more people learn and we grow together. So I think that should be the key. But also, if your podcast is not as deep as my podcast and it's just gist, so it's like entertainment at the end of the day, right? It's like entertainment will always be a thing. So to each their own, but for my own show or with shows that are pushing like a certain narrative, I hope that people are able to understand that we're sharing these conversations so that they can learn and in turn grow from them.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Let me go to my friend Charlie. Mr. Wode Maya, how are you doing? Charlie, I can't hear you.
Sorry, I'm good.
Okay.
Charlie,
Charlie, how
can you
you
hear me
doing?
now?
I can
I'm
hear you.
fine. Oh, I'm fine. I'm
All
fine.
right.
How about you?
It's very impressive. I must first commend the work that you do, and I must say that you're one of the very few people who is very, very intentional about promoting the positive view of Africa. I would like to say the Africa that we don't see most of the time on TV, on videos, or documentaries.
Yeah.
But my question is, why is this narrative very important to you, and how do you feel your content has helped in fostering positive relationship between Africa and the world?
So, a big shout out to all the creators on the platform right now, and to all the viewers. Good afternoon. So, for me, creating positive content about Africa was definitely based on personal experience. I was living in China for like 6 years as a student, where anytime Chinese people see me, they'll be like, "Oh, you're from Africa. Why are you wearing shoes? You're from Africa. I mean, are you okay? I mean, in these shoes that you're wearing, you might be in a train and nobody want to sit next to you because they watch a video about Africa and they think that everyone in Africa don't wear shoes. They watch a video about Africa and they felt like, everyone in Africa got HIV, to the extent that let me tell you one of the craziest experience of us. Our neighbor, we knocked our neighbor's door back in the days in China because we are looking for something. Then this lady came out and we greeted her. 5 minutes later, when we went back to our room, she came with the entire family, thinking that we gave her HIV just by greeting her. Yeah, that is how crazy it is in China. So as an African living in China that time, I felt like somebody needs to come up with content that showcase the continent in a very positive light. That was when I got my first job as an aviation engineer. But I was like, you know what? Let me go online to find videos. But when I went online, it was just videos, people putting pictures together saying that top 5 places in Africa, top 5 cities in Africa. And I was like, you know what? Somebody needs to come up with, authentic content on the motherland. And I realized that no one was doing it. And I came in, decided to showcase the continent in a positive light, which at the end of the day, I didn't even want to do it myself. But ending up inspiring so many creators on the continent so that they will also pick up a camera and tell positive stories. And the impact alone has been incredible, because when I started, it was a goal of showcasing the positive image of Africa to Chinese people because I speak Chinese. But when I started making the videos, I realized that even Africans themselves can't believe that a place like this exists in Rwanda. So I decided to limit my kind of videos to Africa for Africans. So more like global Africans, just to educate them about Africa based on our culture, our way of life, the beauty of every city. And the impact has been crazy. Like I've seen people visiting countries just because of my videos. I was in Rwanda and I met a couple of people that were, establishing their own business. They've never been to the continent before, but they just saw a video that I did in Rwanda and they decided to go and invest
To
in
visit them.
Rwanda. In Ghana, for instance, there's so many people during the year of return, so many people came to the continent because of my video. So, which means that showcasing the beauty and the culture of our continent is very, very important, because the social media that we have, that's the tool that we have to convince people that our continent is also beautiful and it's worth investing. So I would
Yeah.
just be here and encourage each and everyone, because I've seen the impact. The impact of my videos, it's on the ground. So I would say that social media is the tool for us to convince people that it's about time to visit, live, explore, and enjoy Africa.
You made mention of the fact that you encountered someone who visited a country because of your videos. I want to
Yeah.
ask you, what is the most resonating comments that you've gotten from your videos and from the content you create that made you feel like, okay, you need to continue this line and you need to do more? What has been the most interesting, fascinating comments that you've gotten, or commendation?
My job of showcasing the continent in a positive light is extremely difficult and can be very, very exhausting. But I must be honest with you, like every single day, I meet someone who my videos has impacted, and whatever they tell me, they will end it with "God bless you." I mean, with that, God bless you, refuel me to continue what I'm doing. Let me tell you one thing that I met a Nigerian woman in Trinidad and Tobago,
Hmm.
and she's a professor. This is a woman that I met. She went on her knees and started crying.
Wow.
I have the video that and together I started crying with her. And the comment that she made, I mean, to today, I still laugh about it. He said, "You know what? You short, but the work you're doing is bigger than you." You know,
Hmm.
and I was like,
Interesting.
she was expecting to see, like, because of the impact of the work that I do, she was expecting to see like a giant dude in front of her. I said, "Come on, I can't believe this is how you look like." And that woman, the way she cried, and knowing that she's way older than me and crying because of the work that I do, I don't think I can stop what I'm doing, because I meet the countless of them. I met a woman who built a school in Uganda because she watched my videos. The impact is really crazy, and everywhere I go, it keeps inspiring me to continue what I'm doing. Yeah.
All right. I hope every creator out there can hear what he's saying. This impact is unbelievable. People are definitely watching you. People are impacted. People are making decisions based on what you put out there. While Wode is making people cry, JayOnAir is making people really laugh their ass out. So I'm going to come to JayOnAir. JayOnAir, you have one of the most admirable work rates in the entire creator industry. I must say that this past 1 year, you've been on the road, my bro. You're not playing. So I observe that you have a way of bringing humor out of almost any trend. And this question is like this: how do you decide what trend to jump on? And what kind of trends do you know that is very sensitive for you not to jump on? And how do you make a message out of your whatever you put out there?
All right, thank you. Good afternoon. Hello, everyone. As you can see, I'm in my car because I had to run away from the hall. I'm at my friend's wedding. A wedding I could not miss. So that's why I'm dressed like this and in the car. But
We're wearing the red cap together, so I guess I'm there in spirit.
When I saw you, I felt good about myself. I said, "What is happening?" So
it's good.
I'm such a fan of everybody's work here, so I'm super humbled to be on this panel with everyone. Anyway, back to the actual question. So with trends, so I always like to begin when people ask me questions like this. I'm a trained journalist. I actually went to school to read broadcasting. So one of the things we're taught in school is having the nose for news, having the ears for news, and all of that. So some way, somehow, I'm merging my experience from what I've learned as a journalist, because I still work as a journalist at a radio station, with my work as a content creator. And the thing is that I'm also somebody that reads wide. I'm somebody that is in tune with social media trends. I'm somebody that, I try to expand my knowledge, because there are certain people that make statements on social media, and sometimes they are not mean people, they are just ignorant people. And I think that for you to be a content creator and to do the kind of work that I do, you need to educate yourself. I think that comedians and content creators are some of the smartest people in the world. I mean, look at the work everybody here does. You might think that, oh, is tying gele or is wearing a wig or something. For you to do it in such a way that is, that makes people laugh, that brings people together, that brings about interaction, requires a lot of smarts. You understand? And so for me, it's merging my journalism degree with, the comedy or the skits, so to say, that I make. So when it comes to jumping on trends, so the thing is that with trends, I always look for the humor in everything. But I'm also smart to know when things are not supposed to be joked about. For example, you will never go to my page and see things about, rape or sexual assault and all of that, because I know that there is no way you want to make that funny. You cannot make that funny because people have been through so many things. And the world, I mean, look at this year alone. look at all the sad stories we've heard about what women have gone through in this year. But the thing is that I knew that I had to use my voice to say something about that. And so the angle, when I spoke to my team that I want to talk about the femicides we've been seeing, the rape and all of that, a trigger warning. And then my team was like, Jay, you don't get involved in politics. You don't get involved in these kind of things. Just stick to your lane. It was a lot of argument between my creative director and I, but I knew that I had to say something. But I also knew that I had to do it in such a way that people would appreciate it and understand what I'm trying to say. So what I did was that I came from the male perspective. You find out that, we have a lot of the things happening because a lot of men are not speaking to their fellow men. We're not talking about it. You hear a man make a rape joke, I'll just laugh about it. And so I created content around it that sort of called out the men, but also had the humor with it. So in the comment section, one thing you will always see in my comment section is people will always talk about, this is funny, but I like that you are highlighting this. This is funny, but I like that you're highlighting this. So that is what I try to do with that particular video. And I mean, people are still sharing it till today. So I think that if you can find ways to use humor to talk about certain societal issues, you can do that. As long as you're not making a mockery of it, as long as your intention is to uplift people. When I started this series of mine that I started, that just blew up, the Finished Man series. And that series is basically about a man that is always on video calls with his woman and is always just hyping her, baby, I love you, you understand, have you eaten today, have you drank today? And that increased my female audience and even my male audience, because when I go out, I see men walk up to me and say, you this guy, you're causing Roala in my relationship. My babe is always sending me your videos that this is how a man should act, this is how a man should act. And so I realized that as much as I want to make people laugh, there's a lot of responsibility that I've taken on because of the characters I've recreated, because of the characters I've put on social media. So I understand the responsibilities that I have. So if you leave me, I'm a journalist, I just going to talk anyway. So basically what I'm trying to say is, yes, I understand that jumping on trends is important, but I know there are certain trends I don't jump on. And if I'm going to jump on a trend that is very, very fragile, I need to be telling a story that will highlight the societal ills and will sort of start up a conversation to make people see the error in their ways or sort of change their ways. So that's it for me.
Thank you so much, Jay. A lot of people are looking up to the creators that we have on this panel session, and some people are already beginning to see that they can make a livelihood out of being a creator. So the next question, Jay, you would give me briefly give me an answer, then Hauwa will give me a more elaborate answer. And this is how people want to know how to make money. Now, as a multi-potentialite with many content-related skill, how have you been able to monetize the content you put out there? What are the break down the steps, all right, in the simplest form that you can? And do you think, because a lot of young creators are watching right now, do you think there's you can be solely, let me use that word, do you think you can be solely dependent on the income you make from content creating? Jay.
Okay, so yes, you can be solely dependent on the money you make from content creating. I just work on radio. I mean, I don't know if my boss is here. Shout out to my bosses.
By the way, all of you don't know, Jay is an amazing on-air personality with UFM, right?
Yes, 88.5. Yes, UFM.
Exactly.
So I mean, if you work on radio, you know that radio doesn't pay the best. Let's just be honest. You understand? Radio doesn't pay the best. But I genuinely love radio. And yes, radio is not what is taking care of the many things. I have an entire team that I pay salaries to and all of that. That is from social media. That is from content creation. But the thing is, I did not start making the kind of money I'm making now until some 2 years ago. And I've been doing this for, let's say, 5-6 years thereabout. But I didn't start making the kind of money I'm making now until some 2 years ago. And in fact, when I got into this year, it sort of increased the kind of money I'm making. And that goes to show you that people need to trust that I'm going to be there. I'm going to say this, anywhere I'm invited to, I always say this. You need to genuinely want to do this. You cannot want to do this because you've seen somebody's Benz, or you've seen, somebody's car or somebody's house, and you think that is what you want. That may not necessarily work out for you. Because there are days when you're going to feel sad. There are days when people are going to drag you on social media. I want to shout out to you. There are days when people are going to say things to you. What is going to keep you together is the fact that you love to do what you're doing, not the money, And because there are certain brands that are studying you. You started making content in 2024. They want to see if you're a brand that is going to stand the test of time. They want to see if you're a brand that people are going to want to associate with. In fact, there are certain brands that did not start associating with me until they saw certain kinds of people associating with me. And before certain kinds of people start associating with you, you need to have consistently put in the work for a very long time. That is for years. For years. Not that you want to buy a quick Benz here or a quick house there. So the first step for me is that, do you love doing the job? The next step is, are you going to be consistently available? I always tell people, this is my 9 to 5. When people say, Jay, you almost put out content every single day, I tell them, you have a job you go to, right? And you have deliverables. I have KPIs for myself that I have to deliver every day. It is no longer, yes, I love it, yes, it gives me joy, but it's no longer just a hobby for me. Because
Jay, just to cut you, because we're trying to get practical steps. I want you to give me give us a brief insight. When you say you have KPIs that you meet, are you saying in a day you have to create like 5-6 videos before or you have to edit about 5-6 videos before you put them out? Let's understand. So because a lot of young creators, when they watch this, all right, they just pick what is favorable to them, and they do not understand, because everybody knows that for you to always jump on trend as quick as you do, guys, you know that something could be trending on Sunday at 10 a.m. Jay has a video out by 11:02. So when you say KPI, let people understand what you mean by your key point indicators. Give us just a brief example, an insight.
Okay, for example, I know that there are certain audience members that follow me because of my work-related content. There are 9 to 5ers that follow me because of my 9 to 5 content. I have the HR, I have the gossip colleague, I have the boss that is a nice boss. So I know that I have to put out, for example, work content on more. For example, if there's a public holiday, I know that people that work 9 to 5s are happy about public holidays. I must put out a content on that public holiday that relates to 9 to 5ers. For example, on Sunday, I put out content that has to do with the church or pastors or members. People follow me. There's some people that follow me because of my Sunday content only. Because of that, I know that I must put out content every single Sunday. Every single Sunday morning before 12, content is already out on my page that relates to those people. So the question is, when you get audience, how you keep them is by putting out content that you know that they followed you for. Some people follow me for my 9 to 5. I give them that on Monday. Some people follow me for my church content. I give them that on Sunday. Some people follow me during Baby Nigeria because they know I'm going to create content for Big Brother Nigeria. I put out content for that on Friday and on Saturday. In fact, some brands, I'm collaborating with some brands now that are now paying for that. You see, when I started doing that Baby Nigeria content some 2-3 years ago, nobody was paying me to do that. But now, a brand is paying me to put out content for them on Friday and on Saturday for Big Brother Nigeria. And the reason that they are paying me for that is because I consistently did that for like 2-3 years when Baby Nigeria was on air. So that is it for me. That's my own KPI. I have people that follow me for certain things. I need to put out content when they expect per time. Now, this does not mean that I don't rest. There are sometimes I disappoint them because I'm a human being and I need to sleep. I need to catch my breath. And I'm going to do that. And they're going to be okay.
And you have a life of your own.
I do, exactly. I mean, I'm at a wedding, for example, right now. So that's
right. Right. I don't know if you're there with your woman because you are giving finish man vibes with this your agbada already. But it's all good. Hauwa, I want you to give to an average young lady out there who just started the line of content creating as a storyteller, all right? Without expectations from brands, all right? What is the step to monetizing your content as a storyteller? What you do is very different from people that would have to go outdoor and act or include extra cameos and all of that, you are a one-man mopo. I like to say that. All right. So how do you give us the steps on how you make money? Remember, I said aside from dependency from brands, the key steps to monetizing your content. Can't hear you, Hauwa.
Okay, yeah, sorry. So I'm just going to say, JayOnAir, you're doing the Lord's work. Wode, you're killing it. And Angel, shout out to you. So I think that really, from what JayOnAir said, it's so structured. I'm just like, hey, what I come and take lessons from you, Jay. But to and I think I'd like to use a combination of what Jay said and what they said. I also studied journalism. So I've been a storyteller all my life. And my mom makes fun of me because she would literally find books where I've written stories as a child. Like I'll fill a whole book with stories, and she'll be like, "You were born for this life." Right. So for me, it was just very innate. I've always liked to tell stories. So doing it as a content creator was not foreign to me. Obviously growing up I didn't know that this was what I was going to be doing because I didn't know about content creation. But so basically what I'm trying to say is I didn't get into it because of the money. I didn't know that I could make something of it. I could make money from content creation. So it was not money was never a reason to get into content creation. And so making money from content creation is beautiful and everything, but it's not my reason. And if the money stopped today, I will still go on because it's something that I genuinely enjoyed. I hope it doesn't stop, but I'm just saying that it's not a motivation, it's not a motivator for me to create content, for me to wake up every day to think about stories, to think about content. And making money outside of brands, like Jay said, it will sustain you, but you can't be dependent on money from brands. And for me as a creator, I think I'm just growing. I keep growing. I was not making videos 2 years ago. I was a content creator 2 years ago, but I never put my face to content creation. And so for me, it's just a consistent ladder that I'm just climbing. I've made money from Selar. I've put out a comic book, a digital comic book that is now physical, but I've not announced that yet. So I put a digital product on Selar. I've sold that, and so I think that as a content creator, you can make money anyhow. You can make money from everything. You just, if you can think about it, you can make money from it, and that's the beauty of content creation. It doesn't have to be, brands don't have to come to you. I have a newsletter. I have had brands reach out to me to write something at the beginning of my newsletter and write, what I plan to write for the day. So I honestly think that I've sold my comic book on my newsletter. There's just so many ways that you can make money outside of brands. There's stuff that some people will reach out to you to do for them that is outside of content creation, but they know that you have the skills. So I write as well. I'm a script writer. I've made money from that. It's not a brand reaching out to me now. It's a person reaching out to me. I've written for international stations. So my content creation is like, it's all encompassing. I don't have to rely on the money from brands, but I think that the money that is coming in from brands now is as a result of the hard work that I've put into my content over the years. So it's almost like I don't want to feel entitled to that, but at the same time, I want to say that it's because I worked for that, and that's why I'm getting it now. So it's not a bad thing. So when people say, "Oh, you're a content creator," sorry, it's just brands that are paying you. Own it. Yes, brands are paying me because they see what I'm doing. Why should they not give me money? Why should they not want to pay for the craft that I've honed over the years, right? But so anyone that's saying, oh, once the brands go, you're not going to have any money, you're going to have money. You're going to think. That's why you're a creative. You will sit down, you will think of how you make money, the money will come. So don't so what I will tell people is definitely don't get into content creation because you want to, because you're just thinking, oh, that's where the money is. I don't have Benz. JayOnAir has car. I don't have car. If I knew, I would have bought my car like 2 years ago. But now they're telling me to sell my father's house for small Corolla. So right, so money it will just keep shifting. Money will come definitely, money will go definitely. You will spend, you will invest. Money is never the reason to do something, but just know that money will come once you're consistent, and it will come from everywhere.
Thank you so much, Hauwa. Guys, I'm sure you heard Hauwa complaining there just a minute ago about T-Pain and what we're facing in Nigeria, but it's good. It's calm. We'll be all right. Hauwa, I want you to answer
That
this
was
question.
not me. That
Right?
was not. It was my. Was a clue.
Don't worry. If anybody's going to quote me, it's my audio that is going to play. Don't be scared, all right? All right. So the question I want to ask you, I'll read because I want to move over to Wode. So, Angel, I mean. So, but I want just answer this question in the next 3 minutes. All right. You are a female creator and you have a couple of characters with the stories you share. How do you conjure confidence to act these narratives?
So I think that it's because they are my lived experiences. So I can't do what Wode is doing because I've not experienced what he's experienced. Like he was saying it that he experienced this almost racist remarks and it inspired him to start doing the video. So it's very true to him. I don't know if JayOnAir has been in a relationship where he's a finished man, but I'm hoping.
Maybe if not this life, maybe in his past life.
Because he knows it so well. Oh my god, he does it so well. I could not recreate what Jay is doing, and I could not do it so well. Even if I were to go back in time and know this and know that, oh, JayOnAir will be popular for this thing that he's doing, so let me start before he starts, I would not be as popular as he is. I would not be so good at it because that's his thing. So for me, it's my lived experiences. I grew up, when I was growing up, my mom used to buy a bag of rice in the house. It was a thing, right? We always had a bag of rice in our house. So we didn't buy in sachets and all of that. And as an adult now, I'm thinking, because I've grown up like that, I'm thinking, okay, let me buy a bag of rice in my house, but I can't afford, it's too expensive. Like, what do you mean I should bring out 115K to buy? I'm not buying it. Just measure something in nylon and give it to me and let me go on my way. I'm not, so it's and so people keep saying. Also, I grew up in Mushi. I was born in Mushi. I grew up in a family house where someone would just come in and be like, someone has snatched her husband today. Like, you just hear the randomest story and you're just like a child. You're coming back from nursery school, you're hearing that someone is fighting somewhere. So I grew up around chaos and I loved it so much. Oh my god, I reveled in it. Like, I would sit down and I would, and every time there was no chaos happening in my house, I'm like, damn it, man, someone needs to come and. So for me, it's my lived experiences, and that's what shapes all my stories. And that's why some people be like, oh, how are you write wild stories? Because I grew up in a wild environment. I money is very important to me. Financial security is very important to me. And so when I don't have money, I'm so cranky, and it just annoys me. And I know that this is what a good percentage of Nigerians face, especially now that the economy is not great. So I talk about all those things and people are like, oh, they relate to it. When I'm going through heartbreak, I would write a story about it because everyone goes through heartbreak, right? So for me, it's just trying to make my experience and then making it funny and just giving it to the audience, and people like that. But like I said, I'll just keep growing and just doing my stuff.
Thank you so much. To everyone watching, please, if you have questions, if you have questions, I beg your pardon, you can drop them in the comment section. We would be taking a couple of questions in a few minutes. Angel, this next question is for you. We have a lot of young ladies that are watching this video right now, this panel session, and I just want you to give your advice for girls that want to make it in the beauty, lifestyle, fashion scene, but do not know where to start. Being that, imagine someone who is, literally on allowance from her parents, who aspires to go into, beauty, fashion, lifestyle scene. You know, it's very easy for people to watch someone and want to feel like, oh, I want to live this life. I want to do these things. What do you have to say as an advice to these people, and where and how do they start to begin?
I like that this question is coming after Hauwa's speech, because I really resonated with what she was saying, especially the breakup part. I feel like me personally, my life changed 2 years ago, and I started to do all the things that I'm doing right now. It's Unpack with me, with my wellness community 2 years ago, because of heartbreak. Like, my heart was shattered completely, and I'm just like, I started to look for that sense of community. Like, I wanted to bring my friends together, let us all cry, because I was going through things and I got tired of crying on my own. So it started from like having these like girls' nights in my house, literally. And then I started feeling like we'll come and would unpack, literally just be crying in my living room. And I'm like, wow, I like this. Like, everyone is leaving feeling so full. And then that's literally how Unpack with Nate came. I'm like, okay, you know what? We're going to do this. We're going to start this whole, movement. Like, let people come together. Let's share. With Nate Living as well, with all the events that we've done, people are always crying. I just like it. But that experience of heartbreak really birthed something very beautiful. So I really resonated with what she was saying about everything as a creator. Fundamentally, who we are is born from our experiences. So to anyone who is looking to start a career in creating, I've also heard, I saw a clip, I think on TikTok, that says your social media is not for your friends. Your social media is for your self-expression. And that's literally how I tell all my friends, even the ones that all my best friends don't have social media. Like, they're like ghosts on social media. And I'm like, social media is not for us. So it's not for just content creators. It's for everybody. It's for your personal brand. Even if you just like Formula One, like, sharing your story, right? Let people just connect. That's how you build. It's like, now we don't even have time to. I do girls' night at my house because I can't individually see 20 girls across 1 year. It's humanly impossible. So bring everybody together and we all just catch up, as we can. So your social media has made it super easy for us to connect with like mind. You have access to these people. You can interact, you can like, you can comment, you can all of that. I digress. But for anyone who is looking to start a career in social media, I think, one, you need to be true to yourself and dig deep with those experiences and create from there. It's okay to look at Hauwa or JayOnAir or Wode Maya and see what they're doing. If they're like, because we're all in different industries. I'm like in beauty and wellness, which is wellness is fairly new in Nigeria at the moment, but it's something that I'm a walking bag of deepness. Like, I care for myself. It's something that I'm waking up and breathing, right? And in the course of the 1 year that we've launched, I've seen that a lot of Nigerians are also curious about these things. So if I didn't start sharing, I wouldn't find my people. But I had to stay true to what I'm not funny. I'm not a funny babe. I'm not Jay. I'm not Hauwa. I watch their stuff and I laugh, but I'm not a comedian, right? So to anyone who's looking to start something, I think you need to dig deep, and find where your passion is coming from and kind of content you want to create. Then look within the industry or sector or niche that you're trying to create. Don't copy anyone, but just see what people are doing and just take inspiration from them, but don't copy. Like, Hauwa can never be Jay can never be Hauwa. But they're in similar industries, right? But different personalities, and it's doing really well for them. So if you're looking to start anything, I genuinely believe that you should be your most authentic self and start expressing. Just start posting things that you like. Don't overthink it. Just start posting things that you like. If you like films and you want to review on your stories, do it. If you like makeup and you're trying out new makeup and you want to share, just do it. And I think that people really relate to authenticity. We like everybody on this panel because of their individual personalities. No one is trying to be anybody else but themselves. So if you start doing something out of self-expression, eventually you build a community of people who trust what you're saying because you've been true to yourself. So my advice is just lead with authenticity always.
Thank you so much. Authenticity seems to be, I'm not going to bite my tongue, don't worry. Authenticity. Did I get that right?
Authenticity, yes, you got it right.
Thank you. Thank you, because you said I got it right. Thank you. All right, a couple of more questions will come in right now, but please, guys, for those who are watching, if you have questions, please feel free to drop your comments, drop your questions in the comment section. I beg your pardon, and we will take a few questions from the comment section in a couple of minutes. Let me go to Wode Maya. Wode Maya, you are a businessman. Aside from being a creator, aside from being a traveler, you're a businessman. So the question is, what is your advice for building organic business partnership as a creator, as an influencer, and how do you go from 0 to 100? Many creators want to travel around the world like you, all right, but they do not have the money and the resources. You know that many people, me myself, I would have loved to be a travel and lifestyle creator. But when you go and check all these travel agencies and you check the flights, you are going to rethink your life decision. So, my question is, what is your advice for people that are limited with resources? And how have you been able to build organic business partnership as a creator?
So I just want to start by picking up some few things that Jay and Hauwa said. So personally, I barely work with brands because I love to be me. I love staying authentic. I don't want you to tell me that, hey, today you have to wear suits to shoot your video, or you can't say this and all of that. So because of that, like literally, I don't even travel alone. I travel with two guys, which
Can I be one of you guys? I don't mind actually.
I travel with two guys, and at the end of the day, they do most of the work, and I just talk and they edit, shoot. So I'm gonna pick it from here. Let's start from how to turn your passion into profession. Right? Turning your passion into profession. At the end of the day, you love what you do. It becomes a profession, and you make money out of it. So my definition for social media platforms are like ATM machines. So ATM machines, if you don't, especially, I'm gonna talk about platforms that I know very well, which is YouTube and Facebook. They are literally ATM machines. So ATM machines, how does ATM machine works? All you need to do, if you don't have money in your bank account, your ATM card will never work at the machine point. That is how YouTube works. That is how what do you call it? Facebook
Facebook?
also work. So what you need to do, the money in your bank account becomes the content. All right. So whatever you post out there, I mean, I've seen like a lot of Instagram influencers, yeah, they want to post videos for brands to reach out to them. But at the end of the day, for me, even if I smile and I record it and I post my smile, within an hour, I need to be paid. Right.
Mm,
That is me converting like a whole passion into like a profession. At the end of the day, you make money. So
yeah.
I would tell creators in here, take your Facebook very serious, because I have seen, I don't want to mention names, I've seen a creator from Nigeria that came to Ghana just to buy land. And he actually even inspired me to take my Facebook videos very serious, because I was more like a YouTube guy. Seeing a Facebooker making $1 million on just a video. I'm not saying this just to brag or anything like that, but I have seen like this guy inspired me to, I don't want to mention his name here, probably people are gonna ask him for money. So let's keep it that way. So Facebook is a platform that pays you. What qualifies you to be paid is like having 5,000 people following you. So JayOnAir, I don't know if you have with all the content that you're posting on face on what do you call it, on Instagram, for them to, you have to work with brands. You can actually transition the content onto Facebook, and every 21st you will get paid. So bear in mind that the brand pays you to do what you do, but at the end of the day, you still get paid by posting the brand's video.
Mm.
So at the end of the day, you earn twice from one struggle that you manage to come up with a video. So imagine if Facebook will pay me for the same video, YouTube will pay me for the same video. So every month I earn 3 times on one video, from the brand, from Facebook, and from YouTube. So before you, like how I've managed to create a business in terms of I always want to make my video looks authentic. And if I don't tell you that this particular video was an ad, you won't believe it. Because I will take your money, yes, and take the money and do the video in my own way to suit my audience. So I control the content. Do you understand? In a way that at the end of the day, I've taken my money, my Facebook page will give me money, my YouTube page will give me money. So because of that, I realized that I had to create business out of it because I couldn't do everything by myself. So I have a whole business team, like a whole business team behind the scene. I'm just the face. And sometimes as creators, we hate to talk about money. I know, I don't know if it's a problem with me. I can't even look at somebody's face and say, give me $1,000 to appear in here. So my team can just be like, hey, in order to meet you, you have to pay 10K USD, and they'll pay for it. And I'll come and I'll do what I have to do. And the team makes the money. So at the end of the day, that is the business that creators need to create behind their business, behind their creation. One thing that I would tell you that it's not about being famous. You can be famous and broke, and you don't have to be famous and be broke. This is the mistake that a lot of creators make. They build fame, and you ask them, hey, dude, what do you have? You know, it's just like hand to mouth all the time. So when I noticed that, I was like, you know what? I have to also get myself involved in the business. And that is how I started my own real estate business. So it becomes a product that I built with the audience that I have. And I'm like, hey, if I am selling people's property at the end of the day, if I come to your project and I come and do a video on it, right? You have to pay me for appearance. Now, the appearance, whatever property that somebody buys from your project, you have to give me 5% of it. That's like, I don't know if you're counting it. So appearance fee plus commission from each property, right?
So
And
when
at the
you
end of
close the deal, you still get a percentage, and just
I get
for
a
appearing to
percentage.
make the content, you're getting paid.
Exactly. Exactly. So now when you get that one done, now when you post the video, the platforms will also have to pay you for posting the video. When you are done with that, that is when I was like, you know what? If people are buying properties because of my appearance, why don't I start my own business? Hence the reason why we started a real estate broker company in Ghana, where we come to you, we sell your properties for you, and at the end of the day, we use the money that we made from there to build for people. And now we're using the same money to build for people and also buy houses and rent it out as an Airbnb project. So I just want to tell creators, like, don't let anybody lie to you that being a content creator means they are jobless. You just have to understand your craft. You just have to understand the business aspect of it, because I used to be an engineer and I quit, and you don't expect me to quit being an engineer just to be walking around smiling with people all the time. At the end of the day, I need to build my own business behind the scene. So be a creator, that is great. But at the end of the day, never forget the business aspect of what you do. It's very important. I'm saying this because I met so many creators that all you see them, they are buying cars, but the cars they're even buying, they get it from people. No, you have to like make sure that if you buy a Benz today, that money, you own it. That is what I want to say. So please take advantage of the platforms that really pays you for posting your videos. And at the end of the day, like the content that we post on Facebook only, I don't want to mention cash. So just to inspire
Don't want
you,
to mention the cash inflow.
yeah, but just to inspire you, is not something beyond below $20,000 to $50,000 just on Facebook only. So
And are you saying per annum or per month?
no, monthly. So if you add YouTube to it, then you're gone. So take your platforms very serious, take advantage of it, build it, and build the business to behind the scene. For traveling, like the question you asked, I started traveling. When I started traveling, I was staying in dormitories. Right? I was staying in dormitories, like $20 Airbnb, $15 Airbnb, $30 Airbnb. I remember I posted a video from Zanzibar when I was paid to go to Zanzibar this time around. But when I went to Zanzibar for the first time, I stayed in a hostel that I couldn't even afford to stay in a hotel but I had to do a video on the hotel to tell people that this hotel is a beautiful place for your honeymoons. And people went there for their honeymoons, not knowing that even me, I couldn't
You didn't
afford
stay.
to sleep in there. You know, but now people reach out and be like, hey, come and sleep in my hotel. And yeah, you sleep there, they pay you for sleeping there. And at the end of the day, you still make videos out of it and you still make money for sleeping in a place. So it's a gradual process. I mean, I've been doing this for 5 years, and I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be an easy journey. It takes a lot of sweat.
What is the most scary experience that you've had on any of your trips?
I was
Unpleasant experience?
deported. I was deported in Uganda because I was holding a camera in my hand, GoPro in my hand, and they felt like I was there to, spy on their government. They put me in a dark room, which I was so scared. I think I told that story on YouTube. I was so scared, and at the end of the day, I got deported because the guy who came to interrogate me actually was a fan. That's how I ended up leaving. But that was one of the scariest moments of my life. I mean, like, I've been arrested, we're mobbed. We've done a lot of things on the continent that, like, it's really, really
Regardless of,
scary.
you decide to portray Africa on the global scene in a positive light. I must commend you for what you do. I know it could be very challenging, but well done. Your story is inspiring to a lot of people. But because a lot of people usually think, I made sure that you mention one of your most unpleasant experience, because a lot of people will think that, now that you're mentioning the different streams in which you generate inflow from, people will think that, because you're making all that kind of money, like nothing, you're having a smooth sail all the way. But I'm really thankful that you're able to share this experience. I'm going to take 4 questions and just throw it quickly to each one of you, and I'll be very glad if we could respond to this question in less than 3 to 4 minutes. Someone is asking here that, as an intending creator, how do I? This is Elroy Sims asking, as an intending creator, how do I overcome imposter syndrome and overthinking? Let me allow Angel to answer that.
Sorry, I got a bit distracted. So as a creator, how do I overcome imposter syndrome and overthinking? I think it's normal, honestly. Like, I don't think you should honestly put pressure on yourself to overcome it. I think with everything that we do in life, we need to know what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are. And sometimes it's okay for you to fail, but it's okay sometimes to take a step back and re-strategize. So if you're overthinking something, it might be because maybe you don't have the tools, to help you achieve what you want to do. But also, if you're overthinking because you don't think that you have the skills, then you have to introspect and know that, okay, if I don't have the skills, how can I get these skills and be better? So fundamentally, find the root cause of why you're overthinking, and then know that, is this thought a reality or is it just in my head? So it's like thoughts, feelings, action. So your thoughts would make you overthink everything, right? But when the thoughts come to you, when you do the analysis and ask yourself, like, are these actual realities or are these things that are just coming from a place of fear? So when you find that out, if it's a negative response, sorry, it's a longer process, but I'm just trying to break it down with how my mind will work for these kind of things. The second step is to now reprogram your mind to the positive part of it, right? And it takes a lot of work. Like, these things are things that I've had to learn over time, that once a negative thought comes to my mind, I need to literally do the mental work of, okay, this is not real, this is not real, this is not real, this is what is real. Separate myself from that. And once you can separate yourself from the reality of what your thoughts are, then you can move forward. So when you know what is causing you to overthink, then you can navigate it. But fundamentally, just always be at peace with yourself, knowing what your strengths are and knowing how you can push forward even better. And just being kind to yourself, honestly. Some days, just shut your laptop and don't create. Shut your laptop and don't do anything. Take some time to yourself and then come back when you're feeling much better. I hope that helps.
Thank you, Angel. That actually helped me as well.
Really? Oh, I'm glad. It's never real. It's just conditioned. It's never real. It's never real. It's just in your head. It's just in your head. I'm glad.
All right. Thank you so much, Angel. That was really, really inspiring. I also really learned a lot behind the scenes. Okay, so next question. From Divine Jemegbe. I would love my question to be answered by Hawa. Okay, Hawa, so this one is for you. How has your background, cultural, family, and academic shaped your creative process? That is a really good question.
Sorry. Do
Bless
you
you.
understand? Thank you. Do you understand this question? No,
I think I do.
I'm asking you because I think I understand it, but I would just like you to probably explain further if that's not a bother.
Okay. I think this person is asking, um,
Okay, you
from
know
the
what?
stories you've been able. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, continue.
Okay, so from the stories you've been able to curate, this person is asking, how has everything in your life, growing up, and also your education, how has that, inspired these stories?
Okay, sorry I asked you to explain further. I'm just someone who likes to understand things. Like you have to break, all those YouTubes where they say this topic for dummies. They made that stuff for me. Because for me, you have to explain everything like a child to me for me to understand. Okay, so I will try to explain. I'll go from culture, from family to academic to culture. So my so my background has really actually shaped my creative process because like I was saying before, I was raised in the middle of a lot of chaos. We're not middle class, we're not upper class, we were what is below lower class. That's what we were, right? So it just helped me realize that I can tell stories that are crazy, and these people in middle class and upper class will just be like, what kind of life are you living? Like, because when I started telling my stories, I just thought this stuff everybody will relate to. But apparently lots of people cannot relate to living in a face me and face you house. A lot of people cannot relate to, like, so for me it's just okay, this is my experience and I'm just going to. So yes, it really helps my creative process. It defined it for me. And I will talk about academic because it's actually really important. So I didn't study in Nigeria. And I was bounced around from country to country, and people are always shocked. So when I was leaving for my education, my dad's friend at the time was going to India to study occupational therapy, and my father was just like, okay, you just go with the person. I don't want to see you in my house anymore. Since you have failed jam like 2 times. So so I went to India to study, and then I got a scholarship to go to Germany, and then I went to Turkey for my masters. And so I was out of the country a lot, and I was missing, like, when you've grown up in the wild, and then someone just takes you somewhere else that you don't recognize. And so for me, telling all those stories sort of like was me holding on to what I've always known. So for me, it was I operated from a place of fear, and I'm not saying that you should take my advice, but for me, it was holding on to home. I didn't want to let go of home, and so I started writing all those stories. And so yes, that actually shaped my creative process. And then culture. So I'm a Muslim girl. I was also born and raised in Lagos, so I know a lot. And a lot of Muslim girls will come to me and be like, "Oh, I'm not allowed to do this because I'm a Muslim girl and all of that." But me, I was it was a terrible child. I didn't listen to anybody. Like my brothers were sent to Arabic school. Me, I dropped out because I was like, I don't think I want to do this. So for me it's just, but at the same time I would write a lot of stories around my religion, around my culture. Like I would make fun of Islamic religious clerics because growing up they seemed untouchable to me. So when I became an adult, I sort of used my stories to take a jab at them, what I could not do as a child. So everything has shaped who I am today. The fact that I'm a Muslim girl, the fact that I was born in Lagos, the fact that I was born into a lower class family, the fact that I studied outside the country. So everything has shaped my creative. I hope I was able to answer the question.
I think you
I
did. You
believe
did that
that
beautifully.
I apologize. I've been having network issue back and forth, but I think I'm back stable now. So there's another question, and this one says, as a content creator with different lived experiences, you want to share with the world, what is the best way to go about it, especially when you're just starting out? Do you focus on one per time? This is coming from Aluko Oluwaremilekun. Let's have Jay answer this, because you embody a couple of characters. You make use of different characters to create content. So this question is for you.
So on the case of focusing on one per time, I think that people would have different perspectives to this. Because when I started creating content, people found me funny, but some people said, Jay, you need to have one type of content that you do. And this was their reason. At the time, we had Margie was, one of the key people at the time, Taoma, Macaroni, they were key people at the time, and they had particular characters that people could relate to. Taoma had this character, the mother character that was slap. Mr. Macaroni had the Agbada character. Mr. Brother Shaggy had the Agbero character, and they said, for you to pop, you need to have one character that people will like. Then eventually, you now start doing more. At the time, I was just doing as I just feel, I just put it out there. But, I stuck to my guns and I said, you know what? I don't want my creativity to be stifled. So I'm going to make female characters, male characters, boy, girl, finished man, rude man, sugar daddy, everybody. I just want to make that. That's just how I felt about it. So I genuinely believe that it definitely took me more time to get to where I am. But what has happened for me is that because I've created so many characters and I've not stuck to one, this has opened me to multiple opportunities. Going back to the kind of people that can work with me. I'm not just a creator that one kind of brand can work with. I've had my tech bro character, which has enabled people in the tech space to reach out to me for work. I've had my banking character, which has enabled bank companies to reach out to me for work. I've had my lover boy character, which has opened me up for Valentine's Day. So brands always want to work with me for Valentine's. So what that has done for me is that has just opened me up to a range of opportunities. So what I would say is that as a creative person, allow yourself fly, allow yourself do multiple things. There is no one way to achieve your goals. If you love people would say, I make skits, but I see MC events, I make skits, I see MC weddings, I make skits, I still act in movies, I make skits, and I love fashion as well. So if you go to my page, you still see people that come to my page for my fashion. Don't allow yourself be stifled. Don't put yourself in a box, because I feel like you will be unhappy as a creative person. Sometimes I watch people like Hauwa, and you can tell that she just wants to run wild. I don't know if that makes sense to you. And that is just the beauty of creativity. The fact that you don't want to be in one place, you just want to do. Just see your page as a place where you can do so many things. Of course, find a way to structure it. So not that you are just posting, let there still be structure. Because for me, you cannot come to my page and not understand what I do. But at the same time, as you go through, you will still see other things that I do. So structure it in such a way that you can have certain days for certain kind of things if you are just starting out. And you might just realize that people can gravitate towards a particular one that you're doing the most. So try to do more of that. Build the audience, and then once you build an audience, you can now start, allowing yourself do more and more of the other things that you want to do. So do as many things as you want to do, but structure it in such a way that people can make sense of it. Yeah, that's what I'll say.
Thank you very much, Jay. Jay enlightened us and made sure that we understand the importance of structure. We have about 9 minutes, and we're just going to take about 2 more questions. Leeds, please, can you help me highlight another question? All right, this is from Francis Etim. And he's going to Wode Maya. Charlie, come back here.
Yeah.
All right, so this question is for you, Wode Maya. Can you walk me through your content creation process from concept to publication? This is going to be a tough one, but let's see how Wode Maya can do it.
So if I say I have a concept of my content, I would say that I'm definitely lying. All I know is I have an aim to project Africa in a positive light. So anything that I come across on my journey that is positive, I have to talk about it. So basically, I don't have a pre-planned videos that, oh, this is what we're doing today, this is what we're doing tomorrow. I don't have it. I go. My team was saying that this guy is like a Holy Spirit. He goes, he goes with the flow. So I get to a place, I get inspired by the surroundings, I put pieces together, then I come back home, and when we put the pieces together, the editing team will do their editing, and then I will just, connect the stories to make the video make sense to the audience. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm just saying that I don't pre-plan. I don't have a concept. The only concept that I have is to project Africa in a positive light. So you get that concept of projecting Africa, go out there, talk about everything that you see, and then give it to the editors. The editors will work on it, and then it comes to me at the end of the day and, hey, we need a story here, we need to cut this here, and then we'll put it out there. Most of the videos that have gone viral, most of the videos that a lot of people really enjoyed, personally, I didn't know what I was doing. I just allow the inner being in me to do the work. So at the end of the day, when it comes to the other content, when you talk about the real estate kind of videos that I do, that one is more like you get to the site, you have to do what you have to do in terms of interviewing the owners of these properties. You come home, put the pieces together, and put it out there. Once again, you have no control of how the content will be perceived. People will be online and then, read something and, watch a video and read their own meanings to it. So that one, I there's nothing that I can say. You just do your thing, put it out there. But one important thing I'll tell you, whatever you're doing, make sure that every video that you're doing should impact at least one person. Have that in mind and keep going with whatever you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charlie. One of your videos that I found really exciting was the one where Ghana meets Nigeria, the beautiful traditional wedding celebration.
Oh
It
yeah.
was,
Oh,
it was.
thank you. Thank you.
I think everybody should go watch that video. You will
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Thank you.
Let
you.
me. I have this quick question for you. All right. Before we take this question, what is the foundational skill that every content creator should have? Some people say you as a creator by yourself, you should know how to position the camera. You should know what kind of angles, what kind of editing tools you're familiar with. So what do you think are the major basic, skill that every content creator should have?
When you ask me that question, it's so funny because I don't think that those are the skills that you should focus on. To be honest, in my own opinion, I think what you just have to have is a tough skin. That's all you need to have as a content creator. You can. I never started out my content with videos. I had passed 100K on Instagram, 100K followers before I started doing videos. So I didn't really know how to use. I knew, obviously, because I've been using a cell phone all my life, I know how to turn on the camera and everything. I just had a tripod, my room, and myself, and I just spoke to the camera. And as you progress, there's some people that they have enough to hire somebody who will shoot for them, edit for them and all of that. I'm sure maybe starting out they didn't have that. But as a content creator, sorry, that is starting out, yes, obviously you need your phone. You need to be able to, you need to have a story that you're going to tell, you have a starting point, a middle point, and end. You need to have a tripod, obviously. But those are things that you have to have. You can't say I want to start content now and you're just sitting down. You don't have anything to record with. You're not writing anything, right? But I think what's more important is having a tough skin, knowing that I've started this. Once you've started, I've started. And people always think content creation is easy. That's why they keep asking, what do I need to have to start content? Oh, maybe it's just a phone. It's not about having a phone. It's not about having a tripod. It's about waking up every day and knowing that, I have to show up again. Because there's sometimes I'll wake up. JayOnAir is a very bad influence, by the way, because there's sometimes I will see JayOnAir. I wake up early in the morning, I open my phone, JayOnAir again. This boy has posted. When does this boy sleep? That sleep boy, do you know that that's a A-level student that is just always flying high, and your parents are just looking at, does he have two heads? Does he have two heads? So also you need to be able to pace yourself. You know, the way JayOnAir shows up is not the way I can show up. You know, the way he does, obviously I'm inspired by him, but the way he does his stuff is not the way I can do my stuff. That's not my process, right? Maybe I might not be able to show up as often as he shows up, right? So it's all about having a tough skin. Also, depending on, in fact, whatever you're doing, you have people, naysayers, haters. Not really, I will not call them haters, just people that don't like your content because they can choose not to like your content. It's their, you know. So, but then again, you have people who take it a notch further and, you know, tell you, oh, what's this nonsense you are doing? Go and stop what you're doing. You know, you're never going to make it in this industry. So for me, it's all about having a tough skin, knowing that, okay, this is what I've decided to do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be consistent. Every day I'm going to choose to do it. Having a phone, being able to edit, that's not even a problem. You can cut and join. You're fine. You have a phone, you're fine. You have a room, you can shoot your content, or if you want to go outside and shoot it, you're fine. But you have to know that not everybody will like you. You have to be prepared for that, because a lot of content creators face this. You have to know that when it's time to speak, you can speak. Recently, I spoke on Femi side and I was dragged from here to Ghana, you know. But you need to be able to stand in your truth. You need to know who you are. You need to be able to show up for yourself and for the community that loves you. And
Thank you so much, Hauwa. Let's take one more question, leads. Then everybody will drop your final words. The question is from Alaba Ayoluwa Samuel. This is, how do you combine content creation with education as a student? Interesting. Let me direct this question to Jay. You schooled in Nigeria, Abi, unlike Howard that was moving up and down as a tourist.
I schooled in Nigeria.
So you've been in this for about 5 years.
Yeah.
How do you think, there are a lot of content creators who are still students, a lot even were still releasing content when they were writing their final exams. So please share your experience and share your thoughts.
I think for me, I'll come from the angle that I was not in school. I'd finished school way before I'd even started creating content. But I still have, I started creating when I had a 9 to 5, and I still have a 9 to 5, and I still create content. So for me, it's about, time management. People hate to hear the things that they've heard before in the past. A lot of things that we're saying here, it's not things that you've not heard before. Let's be honest. It's just knowing that you want to be serious enough to implement them. I always tell people that, your weekends are very important. You as a content creator, if you're going to be extra busy, you're in law school, whatever, you're going to be extra busy during the week. You might decide that, your Saturdays, you've done your laundry, you've woken up, you're going to shoot 2 or 3 videos on that Saturday. When you have spare time during the week, you can come up with conceptualize the ideas, to write the ideas down that you want to shoot during the weekend. I don't know how possible it would be for somebody in law school or somebody in final year to push out content the way I'm pushing out content. Even though I work in 9 to 5, I still have, control of my time to an extent. For students, I remember being in school. It's been so difficult. So difficult. So I think that when you have time during the week, why don't you decide to, I'm going to conceptualize my plans during the week and I'm going to shoot on the weekends. Or I'm going to find out days where I'm less busy and use those days to shoot. Because, as much as people often say that, oh, I don't have time. If you genuinely look at your calendar, there are moments where you are doing nothing. There are moments where you are freer than other times. Learn to use that time. Realize that your time is like fuel. Your time is like, when somebody says time now money, as a student, as somebody that is trying to really make it in the space, that word has to be really true to you. Your time has to be your money. You need to realize that, look at students that have first class in school. When people are partying, whatever, I'm not saying don't have a social life. Of course, have a social life, right? But they always do extra than what other people are doing. So the question is, if you want to blow up in the space, are you willing to do extra? And what I always tell myself to is, I'm young. This is the time I can stretch myself. I'm not going to be able to stretch myself when I'm maybe married, or maybe when I'm 40 or when I'm 50. When I'm in my 20s, when I'm in my 30s, is when I can really stretch myself, and I can start eating the fruit when I'm in my 40s. So realize that I want you to rest. I want you to be healthy. Your mental health, all these are important. But it is now that you are young that you can really stretch yourself. So on a Monday, look at your timetable. Am I free? Do I have free periods? Maybe in the afternoon or evening. Pick out that time and do the work you need to do at that time. Also, have a calendar to write out things you want to do, and I think that you will make it happen for yourself. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We would have to call it a wrap here. You guys have been so amazing, but this is how we're going to draw the curtain, okay? Because this conversation is
Jay, is it me? Is it? Oh, okay.
No, I don't think it's us.
You're mute.
Hi, sorry, it's not you. It's not you. It's not you. Okay, so thank you so much for. I'm sure AB wanted to round up the session in a really creative way. Okay, AB, you're here. You can carry on. You're muted if you're speaking. You're muted. Okay, we can't seem to hear you, AB. We can't seem to hear you. So I
Hi
guess
guys,
like
I have to run. But thank you so
okay,
much for
yeah.
having me on this panel. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you
Okay.
so much to everybody for being here.
Lovely
We
to
really
meet
appreciate
everyone.
it.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All the love from our team at Selar. Thank you so much for trusting our vision and coming on here to share your knowledge and your stories with, us here, the African creators. So thank you so much. Hauwa, have a lovely day. I will see you and Baba Mogachi later. JayOnAir, you look wonderful. Hope you have a wonderful time at the wedding. And
Thank you.
and Wode Maya, thank you so much for coming. I really love your stories. Basically appreciate you for what you're doing for Africa. Thank you for showing us in a beautiful light. And thank you
Thank
to
you.
you, AB, for hosting the session. Everybody backstage is saying host to the most. Thank you so much. So all the love from Douglas, Milton, Shei, and all of us here at Stella. Have a lovely weekend.
thank you, Liz. Thank you,
Yeah.
Jay. Thank you, Awa. Thank you, Woda. Thank you, Angel.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. That was a lovely session. That was a lovely session. I am curious, what was your best part of this session? I think mine was, seeing seeing the other part of Hawa show up some at different points. But let me know what your favorite part of the session was. Let me know what your favorite part of the session was. Drop a comment. All right. Okay. So, um, don't put yourself in a box. Just do you. Find a way to structure everything. What's your lovely your inspiration, the concept of projecting, lovely. Every part of the session was lit. There it was. Um Okay, so again, Santa Lydia is back, and we have result, and we have a new challenge for everybody. Okay, so however, the results for the last challenge, we would have to send them private messages to confirm that they won, but we do have to one winner. We'll have to send the person a private message because they won. But for the giveaway session, this is the challenge, okay? I want you to go on to Unpack with Me and tell us what were the three guests she recently just had on the show. Okay, check out Unpack with Me on YouTube and on Instagram and tell us what three guests she recently had, her three most recent guests. Now, to answer, all you have to do is, as usual, use the filter, tell us what three guests Unpacked with Me recently had, and tag Triseller and also Unpacked with Me. All right, we are extremely excited to hear from you because this one is not a tricky one. This one, the information is on the internet, so I expect everybody to guess correctly. All right, so again, the challenge is go to Unpacked with Me on YouTube and on Instagram, follow, subscribe, and then tell us what three guests you recently just had. All right. Looking forward to your answers. I cannot wait to see if you guys get this right. The answer is on the internet, so I see no reason why you should get it right. So the first two people would win 15,000 naira each. All right, let's go. And the seller matchbox. All right, let's go. Posting your ebooks on Seller is very easy. Let's show you how. Step one, create a free Selar account. Step 2, select ebooks. Step 3, input the necessary information. Step 4, get your product name and start selling. Get started for free on selar.co today. Hey there, does earning at least 500k monthly sound like something you want? If yes, then Selar's Affiliate Network is right for you. Imagine this: sharing digital products you love and making money while doing it. Whether it's a course, an ebook, or other awesome digital goodies, we've got you covered. And the best part, you're in control. No complicated rules, just great products and those sweet commissions coming your way. Ready to boost your income this year? Join the Selar Affiliate Network and let's get started. Head on to...
Hey creator, come here. No, I mean, come closer. Why are you managing chaos? You're hosting your course on Google Drive, using another platform to build your sales page, and a totally different platform to receive payments. And guess what? Sometimes you can't even receive payment from your international customers. Why are you trying to manage chaos? Or don't you like your peace of mind? With Selar, you can manage the whole process of selling your digital products from one place. From hosting your ebooks and courses, receiving payments, managing your customers' data, automated follow-up for abandoned transactions, and even building beautiful sales pages. Don't you like your peace of mind? Life is hard enough. Allow us to take care of a few things, you know. Stop managing chaos and start using Selar today.